بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
Interpretation of the Holy Quran.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. With the grace of Allah, we begin a brief commentary of Quran. We got to chapter Nisa, the fourth chapter of Quran, and it is revealed in Medina. It has 176 verses. Please listen to verse 3.
وإن خفتم ألا تقسطوا في اليتامى فانكحوا ما طاب لكم من النساء مثنى وثلاث ورباع فإن خفتم ألا تعدلوا فواحدة أو ما ملكت أيمانكم ذلك أدنى ألا تعولوا.
And if you fear that you cannot act justifiably towards orphans, then marry such women as seem good to you. 2 and 3 and 4. فإن خفتم ألا تعدلوا فواحدة أو ما ملكت أيمانكم ذلك أدنى ألا تعولوا. But if you fear that you will not do justice between them, then marry only one or what your right hands possess. This is more proper that you may not deviate from the right course. In several sections we talked about this verse, and I would like to bring one more question and talk about that regarding to this verse. In this verse, Allah is advising people who wants to marry the orphan to be more careful and be very careful about having justice between them, dealing with them justifiably. And Allah said, if you are scared, if you fear, and you think that you cannot deal with them fairly, then go and find other women. Even you can take 2 or 3 or 4, but be very careful about dealing with them justly. We talked about the permission of Islam regarding to marriage to 2, 3, 4. And now we want to bring another question. And that is why Islam did not allow women to marry to different men, to 2, 3, 4 men. Only men can marry to 2, 3, 4 women. To answer this question, we should remember the reasons that Islam allowed for men to marry to different women, to 2, 3, 4. We said one of the reasons, when we look at the different accidents that happen in the society, any society, we see many men have given their life and are given their life, and the numbers of the women are not the same as the men. After World War II, for example, the government of Germany faced such a problem that there are many women that have no husbands. Emotionally, sexually, they need husband. The children need somebody to call as a father. And the member of the parliament came and in the parliament brought such a suggestion to allow men to marry to different women. We said, since there are problems in many societies, many society wars happen, And in the wars, men give their life. And because of that, even if we imagine that numbers of the male and female will be the same, then the number of the female will be much more. And there is no way to solve the problem unless to allow men to marry to second, three, fourths. If we think about the women to marry to two or three men, we see such problems are not going to happen from women's side. We cannot say that many women will give their life, and from the other side, okay, there are many men and there are very few women, until one woman will marry to several men, as such a problem happened from the other side. Because we don't have such a problems, and Islam wants to solve the problem by marrying to two or three, so we should not allow, and Islam should not allow women to marry to different men, because it's not going to solve any problems. This is one issue. And to allow Islam allowed to solve the problems. This is one issue. And second, regarding to the marry to different husbands, Islam will look at the men as a most important basic at the home. It means Islam focus in these issues that children definitely their father should be known before the mother, and more important than the mother, children are going toward the father. They should be called after the father, and it is very important in Islam to be known that who is his father or her father. Although the mother is very important, but the father in this case is more important to be known that he is from such a father. And we have narration that if we allow that several men will marry to one woman, then if the wife has a child, we don't know who is his father. Since 3, 2, 4 men slept with this woman, and then the mother becomes pregnant, who is the child's father, nobody knows, and it is impossible to find out. This is also one of the reasons, but we can say this is a hikmah, not illah. This is a wisdom behind that, not really this is the cause. So even if we will be sure that there will not be any child involved, still Islam did not allow the women to marry to different men. Plus, of course, we have such a narration from Imam al-Raza, peace be upon him, that Imam says, إلا تتزويج الرجل أربع نسوة وتحريم أن تتزوج المرأة أكثر من واحد لأن الرجل إذا تزوج أربع نسوة كان الولد منسوبا إليه. If the man marries to several women and one of them, any of them becomes pregnant, the father is clear. But if several men will marry to one woman and the wife becomes pregnant, nobody knows who is father. So one time the father is not known, which is so important in Islam, and because of that Islam does not allow. Plus, we should say that during the history and even in different nations, different countries, we will see that most of the time men are going to marry to be with different women several times. It means sexual desires for men are much stronger than women in any society. How many women are going in the street to look for men? And how many men are going to look for women? And when they marry, how many women stay and they are ready to stay with one man? But how many men will be stay with one woman? Usually men betrays women, and women stays with one man and is very truthful, very trusty regarding to her husband most of the time. From both sides, I don't want to say all the time regarding to any of them. But many countries, all the countries, we should say that when we see the men who are looking in this street for the women at work, at school, at home, much more than the women. Women are looking for something else. They want either good husband, either they want somebody to be very rich, but not for sexual desires. So men are created in such a way that they want to be with women easily, very fast, and they want much more than women. So there is a problem if we say men should be only for one woman unless he goes and commits sin. But if we say woman should be only for one, it doesn't make a problem in most of the time. Of course, in some times, yes, some women are stronger than men, have more sexual desires than men, but this is some majority, and Islamic laws are for the majority, not for minority. Inshallah, in next section, I would like to talk about these verses a little more. Thank you very much for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.